Hi guys and welcome back to VNB with me, Farhat Saede. As per usual, your top stories for this fortnight are: new scientific breakthrough shows that rats can feel a certain feeling which was thought to be only for humans. We find out what impact tall buildings have on London. And finally, I have an awesome film fix. First up on your Saturday morning, former Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has been sworn in as Egypt's new president after winning elections in May by a landslide. Security forces were sent to key locations around the capital, Cairo, ahead of the ceremony at the Supreme Constitutional Court. Sisi pushed out elected President Mohamed Morsi last July following mass protests. Since then, he's been trying to deal with Mr. Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood, who didn't take part in the elections. Mr. Sisi was sworn in for 4 years at a ceremony shown live on television. Many Egyptians believe that after 3 years of conflict and fighting, Mr. Sisi is the savior they have been waiting for. Lots of people are expected to celebrate in Cairo Square. Next, part of a railing on a famous French bridge has collapsed under the weight of thousands of logs attached to it. The Pont des Arts footbridge in Paris is completely covered with so-called love logs, but part of the railing fell away under the pressure of the growing number of logs attached to it. Police were forced to hurry tourists off the bridge and close it down.
I had never thought that it would weigh that much so as to tear it down. I mean, to bring down the whole thing. But now that I see it from very close, I can imagine it's really heavy. Yeah.
And it might be dangerous, yes.
Moving on, a new scientific breakthrough claims that rats can experience regret, a feeling that was thought to be only unique to humans. Scientists from the University of Minnesota in America carried out a study using treats to entice rats into food stations, where they could either wait for their favorite meal or go to the next stop where another treat was already available. The rats who didn't wait showed that they regretted their decision by looking back at what they could have had eaten. Professor David Reddish, who was involved in research, believes that the finding could help us understand how regret affects the decisions humans make. Now, the increasing level of tall buildings in London has gone up dramatically, with over 230 tall buildings with over 20 stories tall. With more coming on the way, it will have significant impact on the London skyline. We headed down to the building centre for a quick one-to-one about the impact it will have on the future of London. Check it out. Guys, I'm here at the building centre, excited to see what all of our iconic skyscrapers will hold for the future of London. Well guys, I'm here with the chairman, Mr. Peter Murray. How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you.
Good?
Very good.
Great. Having such wonderful tall buildings in London, what impact does this have on the country?
Well, it's changing the skyline of London quite dramatically, really. London has historically been a rather lower city. St. Paul's Cathedral has been very prominent on the skyline, but now with new office towers close by and a whole series of big residential towers which are going through the system at the moment, we're going to see a real change in the skyline. London's growing by about 100,000 people every year, so we have to build taller buildings, denser buildings, and so that means you're going to change the way that London looks.
Now, a bit more about the design. So obviously, for example, the London Shard, it has such a very sharp tip, or we have curved tips. Where does the inspiration come from?
Well, with the Shard, Renzo Piano, who was the architect for that, says that he thought it was like a spire of the cathedral, which was next door. Southwark Cathedral doesn't have a spire, so he thought he'd give it one. With the Gherkin, which has a rounded top, that's designed so that the wind, as it moves around the building, doesn't really have an impact on the ground level. You see, quite often with tall buildings, flat tall buildings, the wind will hit the front and hit people on the ground.
Money has got to play a massive part in this. How much would it originally take to build one of the iconic buildings we have now?
Well, clearly it's more expensive to build tall buildings than it is lower buildings, but also you can get much higher sales for the flats and apartments right at the top of these tall buildings because they have fantastic views. While a lot of these tall buildings are actually designed for wealthier people to live in, when a developer develops one of these tall buildings, they also have to give some money to pay for affordable housing for less well-off people. So it's a good way of creating more housing in London, more accommodation for everybody.
What are the future plans with tall buildings in London? What are we hoping to get?
Well, we've discovered in the exhibition that something like 237 tall buildings which at the moment are proposed and are in the pipeline, and over the next 10 to 15 years they will be built and create a very different city than the one you see today.
Will the prices come down low as the more tall buildings grow? Because obviously ordinary people find it hard to buy a house there, so the prices are very important.
Well, we have a shortage of housing at the moment. We need to build many more than we have at the moment. And hopefully as we increase the supply, then the price will come down to help younger people be able to get on the housing ladder. At the moment it is a real problem, and it's something that the Mayor is working to improve the number of houses and reduce the cost. But at the moment it doesn't look as though it's coming down by very much. And there are people who own houses who want to see the prices stay high because they don't want to lose money.
Now a bit about yourself. What building is your favourite and why?
Well, this is the one I like best really because it has this leaning front here, and the idea of that is that when you look towards St Paul's Cathedral's dome, this top leans away so that it doesn't get in the way of your view. It's really important for tall buildings that they hit the ground in a way that makes a better city and a better place for everyone.
Well, great. Thank you for talking to us today.
Pleasure.
Well, guys, I think I chose my favourite building. It's the O2 Arena because it's so beautiful. When we drive past it and you see the sunset behind it, it doesn't look big here, but actually because we're very teeny tiny, we're down here, it's beautiful behind the sunset. And another good thing about it is that it holds loads of events, which gives the public something to do, because in London we live such busy lives, and having something to do on the evenings is amazing. And we've had Beyonce concerts, Katy Perry, we've had comedy shows. And again, it looks beautiful, it's practical, people can visit there. It's like a massive landmark, and as you can see, there's an amazing sea around it. So this is my favorite building. Make sure you guys let me know yours. Time for some more news. British diver Gary Hunt has won the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series in America. The daredevil diver jumped off a board on the cliffside of Possum Kingdom Lake in Texas. He got a new personal best, as well as grabbing the gold medal with his amazing dive from 28 meters up. The World Series is an organized event, and Gary is highly trained, so please don't try this at home.
From the same university, the Boilermakers.
Look at this takeoff on the Jumbotron. 3.5 twists right out of the gate on the first somersault, then he comes around.
Moving on, it was the fantastically exciting final of Britain's Got Talent, where operatic boy band Calabro were crowned the winners. In the final, the musical theatre act were up against opera singer Lucy Kay, while teenage rap duo Boz and Melody, who were favourites to win, finished third. The five-piece group take home £250,000 and will appear at the Royal Variety Performance as their prize. The band, which includes 20-year-old Richard Hadfield, Matt Pagan, Michael Oger and Thomas Redgrave, both 24, and Jamie Lambert, 23, only formed a month before the first edition for the show. Calabra's emotional performance of Stars from the musical got a standing ovation from all 4 judges. Third place Bars and Melody, who had been tipped to win, performed a self-written anti-bullying song which has gained more than 30 million views on YouTube from the first audition. 13-year-old Leandra Davies and his friend Charlie Lenhan, 15, who wrote the track, were praised by Simon Cowell, who said, "You are the nicest, sweetest kids I have ever met. I hope my little Eric turns out just like you." Time for your film fix of the fortnight. Disney's movie Big Hero 6 is jam-packed with action and comedy, as the animation has a group of 6 superheroes that are recruited by the government to protect the nation. Will we be safe or not? Let's find out. That was awesome. I'm definitely going to check that out. I don't know about you guys, but for now, make sure you guys keep sending in your questions in at vnb@voxafrica.com or find us on Twitter at VoxNewsBee. And I shall see you guys next fortnight. Bye.